What's going on, guys? I am in a 2019 RAM Laramie 1500 truck with a 5.7 liter Hemi that puts out 395 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque. This truck is awesome. I've had a chance to put a few hundred miles on it already, and I am blown away by a few things that I have to mention. One, the ride. This truck has the smoothest ride of any half-ton pickup truck I have been in, hands down. Just a beautiful, beautifully smooth ride. Two, the power. This truck just really feels right. The amount of power the truck puts out, the amount of torque it has, acceleration, all of it feels perfectly balanced for this size of truck. You don't get any of that, underpowered feeling that you might get with some pickup trucks. When you get in the truck and you hit the accelerator and it just doesn't move as quick as you feel it should. This truck doesn't have any of that problem at all. It feels extremely powerful. It takes off very quickly. It's just a very, very well put together truck in terms of engine, transmission, and drivetrain. It has an 8-speed automatic transmission. It also has probably the nicest interior I've seen of any truck. Now, I've made that point about Ram trucks for a while, that when it comes to just the overall interior look and appearance, from a luxury perspective, they got it right with the previous edition Ram. This truck takes it to a whole nother level. The materials inside, the soft touch, the materials they use to make things like the buttons and knobs, the look of everything is just gorgeous. This one has the 8.4-inch Uconnect system, not the 12-inch screen. But the way that this system works and how vibrant it is, the contrast, and how clear the resolution is amazing. I am really impressed with RAM and how they put this together, and I'll show you that during the interior overview. This road is a perfect example of how well this truck handles a less than perfect road surface. This road is a very bumpy road, and typically it transfers that to whoever's sitting inside the vehicle pretty bad. You can definitely tell you're not going over the smoothest road, but it does a phenomenal job of dampening out the bumps and making them feel far less harsh, and really it makes the ride pretty enjoyable, even over a pretty rough surface. The interior noise is very well muted as well. It's dampened extremely well. So in a lot of vehicles, when you're driving around and you hit bumps, you kind of hear that wallowing noise inside of the vehicle where it almost sounds as if each bump is a deep bass note that resonates into the cab. This doesn't feel that way. When you hit a bump, you basically can just tell the suspension's working, but it doesn't transfer any of that bass sound into the cab, and it doesn't make it feel as if you're in a hollow vehicle, if you know what I mean. If you've driven in some older trucks, or if you've driven in even some newer trucks, you typically have that feel and that sound. This truck, not at all. This truck's interior just screams luxury. Everywhere is soft touch materials. There are only a few places that use a harder touch material, and everything that is a harder material has a good texture to it. It feels high quality and high end. I saw a review on this truck a while back where somebody actually called this the Mercedes S-Class of trucks, and I understand why. I've spent some time in this truck now, and to me, it absolutely has the smoothest ride of any pickup truck I've been in. I can't wait to show you guys the interior of this truck, and you're going to be blown away because it absolutely feels like a super luxurious high-end vehicle. Nothing in this truck screams low quality. I'm trying to look for areas where they may have missed it, or they didn't get it right, or maybe they skimped, and I just can't find any. In reality, even with the 8.4-inch screen and not the 12-inch Uconnect screen, it has a beautiful, beautiful interior, and the screen complements it well. Some would actually say that the size of these screens are getting a little ridiculous. I'm good with this size screen. I don't need a 12-inch Uconnect screen. If I had the 12-inch screen, I may like it, but at the same time, I kind of wonder if it would just kind of give me that feeling of being burdened with too much tech. Too many push buttons, too many options I have to choose to get to the thing I want to get to. I like having actual knobs and buttons for my AC controls, and even some of them for my radio controls, which this still gives you. If you've ever been in a Ram with a Hemi, you know how good it sounds, and this truck is no different. It has a beautiful engine note inside of the vehicle, but it's very, very muted, so you only just hear it. I could talk at a very low volume level to somebody next to me, and they could easily pick up my voice without any problem. Shoot, the microphone on my camera is a good 2.5 feet away from me, and I'm sure you're going to be able to hear it probably far clearer than you could hear it even in my F450, which also has a quiet interior. So I am just incredibly impressed with the amount of sound and audio dampening that this truck has in it, because it truly mutes out the outside world. Something that's also really nice about this truck, and specifically the interior, is just the quality of the controls. It doesn't appear as if they tried to use plastics where they traditionally did, such as the shifter knob. So it's a rotary knob on the dash, and it has a really nice machined feel to it. It feels like it's made out of aluminum. A lot of the interior trim pieces feel as if they're made out of aluminum instead of plastic like you see in so many trucks. And the dash display is amazing. The area between the two gauge clusters, they really did a great job of laying it out and making it look incredibly vibrant. Again, this is all stuff you'll see when we look at the interior. The stereo system is phenomenal though. It has an Alpine system, and it gives you incredibly good sound, incredible bass, incredible mid-range and high frequencies. It just has a very, very good sound system for those of you who like to listen to your music like I do. So take a look at this interior. It is simply gorgeous. Everything from the stitching to the seats, even to the embroidery of Laramie on the seats. Just a beautifully laid out truck. The center console has to be the single most functional center console I've ever seen. They still retain this little slot so you can put your smartphone. You just have to be a little careful, because when this portion right here, which slides back, is all the way up, there's about an inch gap here. So if you're not careful, you can take your phone and drop it into that little gap. Now it's not too hard to recover. You simply slide this piece back and prop your phone in that little area there. But this is very convenient, and the storage idea here of sliding this back and giving you this large undercarriage storage, plus you have a 400 watt 110 jack here, and this storage ultimately goes all the way into this area here. So you have this enormous storage area. It's just a really brilliant idea. And then you have this additional storage right here. This is kind of your shallower storage for any small knickknacks you might need to get to quicker. Plus it has a USB charger, and it has this little notched area here with kind of little side pieces to hold your charging cable in place. So that's really convenient. Nice RAM embroidery here. On the front, you have both your front and rear parking sensor switches to turn them off or on. Very nice feature. Tow haul mode and your traction control. Underneath, you have an auxiliary jack, plus you have two USB-C as well as standard USB ports, and you have a CD player here. Plus your driver side, passenger side air conditioning controls. You have a heated steering wheel button, as well as ventilated and heated front seats. You have a really nice feature that really only RAM offers you, and that's the ability to turn your screen off with a button from the dash. Most of the time you're going to have to go into your navigation on most trucks like Ford to turn your screen off, and it's about a 5 or 6 step process. But on the RAM, let's say you're driving and it's really dark at night and you don't want that contrast glaring at you in the face, just press that button, it turns the screen off. I think that is a brilliant idea. And then they have another simple one-touch button to mute the system. So if you press this, let's say you're pulling up to a toll booth or you're pulling up to a drive-through window and you want to mute your stereo, just press that and it mutes the system. All of the buttons and knobs feel incredibly high quality. They definitely didn't skimp on not just the look, but the material that they used with these controls. Your start-stop button's right here. Of course, your gear selector is right here. It's a rotary knob. 2 4-wheel drive, 4 high, 4 low, automatic. All your steering wheel controls for Bluetooth, plus your dash computer controls. And this is a really, really cool system they have up front. It gives you a lot of information on the truck. And not just a lot of information, but it does it in a really, really cool looking screen. I mean, that has to be the highest resolution screen I've seen on any of these trucks. I really can appreciate that. Plus your gauge cluster simply looks fantastic. It just looks very, very well designed. I like how the RAM logo up here is also backlit. You also have a very convenient center console trailer brake controller with your gain adjustment. Very nice placement. This particular truck does not have the electric tilt and adjustment steering wheel. On this one, you have the manual lever here to tilt your steering wheel up and down or pull it in and out. So it also has four-way lumbar control for the driver's seat, where you can adjust it up and down and forward and backwards for this area right here, depending on where you want the adjustment. And these are kind of cool. These are little pockets in the bottom of the driver's side door, and they're made out of like a gummy material. But after looking at the window sticker on this truck, these were actually optional, and they're called foam cup holders for the door, and they're inserts. So you can remove these and clean them, and they're actually kind of neat. Plus a really nice pocket here in the door. Maximum payload capacity on this truck is 1,399 pounds, so 1,400 pounds, with a gross vehicle weight rating of 7,100 pounds. It does give you control of moving your pedals forward and back. This actually comes in really handy for taller folks or shorter folks. Then, of course, your dimmers. So you have the ability to dim your dome light and your gauges separately. Plus, of course, auto headlights, your fog light button as well. This one has memory seats. 1, 2, plus your memory button. Plus, you can fold your mirrors in right here. Very, very nice trim doors. This is really, really nice materials too. Double stitched, all soft touch. Nice aluminum inlays on the doors themselves. Overall, a very nice laid out interior. Plus, up top, you're going to have your SOS button in the event of an emergency, an assist button if you need help, directions, valet, concierge, that kind of stuff. You have an auto tailgate down button, which is very similar to Ford. It's a tailgate release switch. Plus, you can, of course, adjust your dome light for when they come on, dome light controls, as well as your rear sliding back glass window. You still get your dual glove boxes, which is really nice. Your lower glove box, of course, which usually has your very large user manual, plus a smaller upper glove box, which comes in really handy if you are going to be carrying anything small with you. It's actually pretty good size. It's about 6 inches deep, about 3.5 inches tall. I really like the fact that they give you a 12-volt outlet up here on the dash. This is great if you have a radar detector or, a dash cam, anything like that, and you want to connect it straight to the top. And a nice feature about this 8.4-inch Uconnect system is that though you can control a lot of the seat features like your driver heated seat, passenger heated seat, all this stuff through your touchscreen, you also have actual buttons down here to control it as well. For your screen, you're going to have all sorts of different media ideas, from your mapping to your Sirius radio to your seat controls, your navigation system. Everything can be controlled kind of through the dash, which is really nice. But then for the things that you need to get to quickly, like your AC controls, you have full access and controls here using knobs and buttons. Though you can option the truck with a 360-degree camera, this particular model didn't have it. So something I was really interested to find on the inner lid of the center console when you flip it up. So RAM basically included all sorts of information here on the inside of this lid, from having a protractor to a graduated scale to conversion between metric and standard wrenches to a fraction to decimal chart, Pythagorean theorem. I mean, it is really interesting that RAM decided to put this on the inside of this. But anyways, it's kind of cool. Figured it was typically dead space, I guess, and they wanted to put something that could potentially be useful there. Just take a look at the rear legroom in this truck. It is massive. So it's not just the F-150 now that's going to give you the option for just a massive rear seat room. You're going to get that in pretty much all the trucks now. So I'm sitting in the back of this Ram now. Just to give you an idea, I have at least a good 10 inches of room between the front of my knees and the back of the seat in front of me. And this is at my normal seated position, which is pretty much identical to my Super Duty. So Ram is definitely offering more space. I have a feeling you're probably not going to see any more mega cabs. I don't really think you need one with the truck cab this size. As you can see, they give you 2 USB ports as well as 2 USB-C connections right here. 400 watt, 115 volt AC outlet. I told you guys that 400 watt is kind of the new standard when it comes to having an AC outlet in a vehicle. It's nice to see that Ram's offering that. Rear air conditioning vents, and you have a little pocket here for whatever fits in that little pocket. Good amount of headroom, and the headrests are nice and tall headrests. Plus, on the more premium truck, you're going to get speakers back here behind your head, which is really nice. Another feature that Ram retained are these Ram bins. You basically flip this up and you have these storage pockets underneath. And this is in that space in front of your rear seat. I like the fact that you can get a track system on this truck for cargo tie down. I actually would prefer that over the box link system that my truck has. Spray and bed liner. Another new feature. Now it's interesting because this particular truck does not have the step in the back corner. I know it's optional on Ram trucks, but this one doesn't have it, nor does it have side steps or any type of retractable steps on this particular truck. Again, these are optional features though. This truck is equipped with an AAM rear axle, stabilizer bar, and it is a coil sprung rear suspension. Very smooth ride. The frame seems to fluctuate, so the front portion of the frame appears to be about 3/16 of an inch, and this rear section back here looks more like 1/8 of an inch. So the frame thickness fluctuates front to back on this truck. There are a lot of holes in this frame, and they're used for mounting different components. Now what you're looking at here is the bottom portion, or the outside portion of the boxes that are under the footwell area of the rear seat passengers. So something interesting that happened while I was actually filming this truck, I put it in reverse, there was some tall grass behind me, and as soon as I approached that grass, the warning system went off and it indicated to me that there was an object behind me, and it engaged the brakes full force. It brought the vehicle to a sudden and abrupt stop. And it's a safety feature essentially designed to prevent you from backing over children or anything that might be behind you when you're backing out of your driveway or whatnot. Very good feature. Definitely kind of surprised me because I wasn't expecting it to go off at that particular moment, but it can definitely be a safety feature that you'll appreciate if it happens when you have children behind you. So a headlight feature that is very cool about the new Ram is one that some European vehicles like the Porsche Cayenne has had for some time, and that's the ability for a corner light to turn on when you turn a signal or when you turn in general. So as you turn the steering wheel either to the right or left, you're going to have a corner light that comes on to illuminate that turn. I think that that is absolutely a great feature to have, even though in the US market you haven't seen a lot of cars adopt that. It's been pretty common in the European market for some time though. Watch, as I pull up to this sign, I'm going to turn the steering wheel to the right and you'll see the light illuminate. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video on the 2019 Ram that I'm in. I'm going to have this truck for a little over a week, so I'll have plenty of time to film some more video and give you my overall opinion of the truck. Maybe I'll have the ability to take it out and try to tow a trailer with it. But put your comments below. Let me know what you think of it. I'd love to hear your opinion on this new truck. I really liked it. I'm going to stop by here at my friend Albert's shop, Team Hard Life. I hope you've had a chance to subscribe to his channel as well. Anyways, guys, I look forward to bringing you more videos. If you haven't had a chance, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again soon.